In the 1970s, a simple idea changed the fate of an ordinary person. Yvon Chouinard. He was a mountain climber who later turned into a dumpster diver. This amazing man left the world in awe when he made a billion-dollar business empire with a mere 50 cents. In this amazing video, we'll break down the struggles and success of Yvon Chouinard, the man who created Patagonia, for the betterment of this planet. The man known as the owner of the biggest and richest clothing industry was born in Lisbon, Maine in 1938. Being born in a family of farmers has its own struggles, but despite that, Yvon had a pretty good childhood with his loving parents. In 1946, Yvon's father decided to settle in Burbank, California. Adjusting to the French-Canadian community was difficult for the young Yvon, as he could not understand their language and cultural values. During middle school, the poor Yvon was considered an outcast, and if it was not enough, some students also bullied him. That's why he became a lonely kid who spent most of his time fishing, hunting, and bicycling. After that, he enrolled in high school, but not a single subject sparked his interest in studies. Due to Yvon's attitude problems, he was usually in detention. Around this time, he found a falconry club, where he got fascinated by mountain climbing. The interesting fact is that he got himself a trainer, Don Prentice, who taught him how to slide down the Falcon Aries on the big cliffs. The initial interest soon became an obsession, as Yvon even drove to Teton Range to learn new pointers for climbing. You won't believe it when we tell you that Yvon was just 16 years old when he convinced some experienced climbers to let him climb up Cemetery Spire. At that time, he did not even know how to use pitons. In case you don't know what pitons are, they are metal spikes that climbers use to place on rocks to climb higher on the cliff. However, he learned this skill during his journey and got hooked on mountain climbing. During one of his adventures, Yvon met other climbers like Tom Frost, Royal Robbins, and T.M. Herbert. The desire to climb the vertical cliffs was so high that Yvon went climbing with his friends from Stony Point to Yosemite. During his journey, Yvon also started making quality gears as when he started climbing. The gears were imported from Europe and were bad quality. Most of the time, pitons were also left behind in the mountains so that other climbers could follow their path to conquer the mountains. However, Yvon believed pitons should be reused as there is no need to leave a trace during climbing. That's why Yvon made his way to the junkyard to design his own pitons. He bought a second-hand forge, some hammers, an anvil, and tongs at the junkyard. Not only that, he went through training to become a pro blacksmith. The astonishing fact is that Yvon pitons could be used multiple times as they were better quality than the European ones. The great blacksmith sold his first samples to his friends, but later other climbers started asking for his pitons. That was when Yvon started to open his shop in a chicken coop and started selling pitons for $1.50. You must know the cost of European pitons were 15 cents, but people still preferred to buy from Yvon due to its better quality. Despite that, Yvon got a little profit at the month's end and had only 50 cents to survive. During all this, Yvon had just graduated from high school and attended college for 2 years. After dropping out from the college, the future billionaire worked as a private detective in an agency. However, it was a short-term job because he was more interested in mountain climbing. He went ahead to pursue his passion and later became a dumpster diver due to the lack of money. He tried to find anything he could eat to survive and even ate cat food there. However, it seemed Yvon's good days were on their way as he started receiving many orders. When the skilled craftsman could not handle the shop single-handedly, he partnered with his friends Tom and Dorian Frost. With this great collaboration, the team decided to redesign every tool for climbing. The results were outstanding as the tools became more functional, lighter, and stronger. From the start, Yvon always ensured to provide quality products that could help humanity in any possible way. With that, protecting the surrounding environment also became a priority for Yvon Chouinard. It happened when he observed that continuous removal of pitons and hammering affected the pristine surface of the mountains. That's why he stopped selling pitons and introduced an alternative, aluminum chokes. Using chokes was rather easy because they could be fixed by hand. But the problem was that they were less trusted than pitons. To solve this issue, Yvon and Tom decided to make high-quality chokes. Obviously, switching the business had its risks, as many companies believed climbers would not prefer chokes over pitons. However, Yvon proved everyone wrong when he released his first catalog. The catalog featured the importance of clean climbing and told us how one could use chokes. The selling of chokes rose within months. Soon, Chouinard Equipment became the largest supplier of climbing gear in the U.S. Despite this huge success, Yvon still believed he was not a pro in the business industry. However, we assume it's not true because Yvon came up with a revolutionary idea that changed the outdoor clothing industry. Well, you might want to know how this idea popped up in Yvon's mind. Then let us tell you that once the mountain climber went climbing in Scotland, there was a rugby shirt that caught his attention, and he decided to buy that colorful shirt for himself. He thought that the shirt's collar would keep the gear slings from touching his neck. After that, Yvon returned to the United States, where other climbers started asking about where he got the shirt. People were curious because it was rare to find colorful clothes for men at the time. Most often, climbers wore a white dress shirt and tan cutoff chinos. That's why Yvon decided to give a try to this idea and ordered rugby shirts for selling. The plan worked, and the mountain climber went on their way to becoming a billionaire. He started a clothing line by the name of Patagonia. At first, Yvon was hesitant because he knew nothing about clothing, but he still gives it a shot. He said, "I immediately take a step forward and see how it feels. If it feels good, I take another step. If it feels bad, I step back." For a while, Patagonia was doing well, but due to one wrong decision, the company went into a point of bankruptcy. Due to the high demand for rugby shirts, Yvon contracted with a garment factory in Hong Kong to supply thousands of shirts. The quality was so horrible that Yvon had difficulties selling those shirts. For 1 year, the company's cash flow could not be maintained and reached a breaking point. Even Tom and Dorian Frost, who worked with Yvon for a decade, left his side in the bad time. Then it was only Yvon and his wife Melinda who strived hard to keep Patagonia running. Finally, things started to improve when Yvon promoted a young employee, Christine Tompkins, to general manager position. Under her leadership, the company started to thrive again, and the financial conditions improved greatly. At the same time, Yvon started the designing of multifunctional technical clothing. We must tell you that this initiative solved the problem of dressing for climbers. Even in bad weather conditions, climbers can use Patagonia's first technical product. The insulated rain jacket would protect them from rain and give them the freedom to move. After this project, Patagonia collaborated with Malden Mills to create a cloth piece that would be free of pills and felt like the soft fur of a chinchilla. Moreover, the fabric was named Cinchilla, as it was used to replace the synthetic piles for fleeces. At the development of this fabric, Yvon also realized that research is the key to the success of Patagonia. After that, Patagonia introduced a type of polyester, capryline, that was used to absorb moisture from the wearer's skin and gave them a comfortable feel. At this point, Yvon believed that his new technical products would succeed greatly. He also refused to listen to his employees, who urged him to wait a little longer. In 1985, Yvon launched the Cinchilla fleeces and capryline thermal underwear, and the sales of these products broke records. Yvon said, "You can't wait until you have all the answers before you act. It's often a greater risk to phase in products because you lose the advantage of being first with a new idea." After getting a great response from the public, Yvon decided to introduce new colors to Patagonia's clothing. The colors included were cobalt, aloe, iced mocha, teal, French red, seafoam, and teal. Sadly, people did not welcome the new colors wholeheartedly, as they were used to the common colors like green, tan, and powder blue. However, Yvon did not take any offense to the audience opinions. Not long after that, a few people issued lawsuits against Chouinard Equipment because they got into an accident due to their own negligence. In one of these cases, a man's ankle got fractured when he climbed the ropes during a tug of war. Then another serious incident happened when a man died because he did not know the proper use of a harness. These lawsuits affected the reputation of both of Yvon's companies. Even the insurance company refused to fight against these allegations. Again, Yvon reached the point of bankruptcy, but this time it was Chouinard Equipment that got drained. On the other hand, Patagonia somehow managed to maintain its position. In fact, that year, the company's sales rose by 40%, and the revenue increased to $100 million the next year. At last, a great time doesn't last forever, and the company got a financial hit when prestigious dealers canceled their orders from Patagonia. In this gloomy situation, Yvon did everything he could to save the company. The strategic billionaire also realized that the dark day had arrived because he was too focused on his business growth. So Yvon vowed to be more responsible for the environment when he observed that all sustainable manufacturing processes are polluting the American culture. Then he declared Patagonia will never be completely socially responsible. It will never make a sustainable, non-damaging product, but it is committed to trying. The amazing fact is that Yvon stayed true to his word as Patagonia started using organic cotton, offering free repairs, and investing in more sustainable materials. Additionally, the clothing empire annually donated 10% of its profits to small environmental groups. They also helped the startup companies who were eager to make a better change in the world. These values certainly took Patagonia to heights of success, and in 2008, the company reached sales of $1 billion. The enticing news is that this brand became a status symbol in Silicon Valley and on Wall Street. Even in a single day, Patagonia received a partnership from 60 brands, but Yvon decided to keep the growth at a slow pace. Perhaps that's why Yvon's company kept on getting success after success. In an interview, Yvon also shared his opinion and said, "I know it sounds crazy, but every time I made a decision that is best for the planet, I made money." Our customers know that, and they want to be part of that environmental commitment. Now, what are your thoughts about this tale of a dumpster diver who didn't compromise the betterment of the environment over the massive profits of his company? Let us know your opinions in the comments section below. We hope you enjoyed this story of Patagonia, and we'll see you in our next video.